Hey YouTube, Selkiel here, and as we all know, magnets are very cool objects. But why are only some objects, mainly metals, able to be magnetic, and of course most elements aren't other than them, apart from neodymium, which isn't a metal, it's a rare earth element, but it is magnetic. But that's the exception. And why is this? Well, it's to do with a fundamental property of the electrons in these atoms that make up metals. They have this thing called spin, and it's not spin in the traditional sense, like what I'm doing with my wrist, when my wrist is oscillating. You get what I mean. Well, this spin is different because that spin is called angular momentum, and it's a macro property, i.e. it's something that we can see here at the human scale. But spin, in terms of electrons, actually refers to a quantum mechanic. And the interesting thing about spin is it generates a field around the particles. But this spin and it creates the field, and this field is the magnetic field that we feel as an attraction between two magnets. So basically, things that aren't metals can't produce this spin and thus this magnetic field, and that is why only certain materials, apart from neodymium, or only metals, can actually be magnetic. But the weird thing is, of course, only some metals are magnetic on their own, like iron, for example, but some, like aluminium, don't on their own produce a magnetic charge. But why is this? Well, it's because of electricity, because it was discovered about a century ago that electricity and magnets are related, and this is how electromagnets work. When you have a block of aluminium, for example, and you run current through it, and only metals in their solid form, by the way, can actually conduct electricity, and so that's another reason why you can only get electromagnets that are metal and not any other types of materials. But anyway, when you run current electrons through the aluminium, the spin, which as I mentioned isn't a physical spin, but it's a quantum property, generate their own magnetic fields lines that run out from the positive to negative points of the substance. And so this means that anything that has electricity running through it is technically generating a magnetic field. And your phone, or whatever other device you're watching this on, is generating a magnetic field, of course, because it's having to run electricity through the screen and the processor to create and output this video for you to see it. And because there is iron in your body, which is attracted to this, and other metals too, that means your phone is quite literally pulling you towards it.